Hello and welcome to a new edition of Akashic Insights Weekly, looking at February 20th through the 26th, 2023. Wow, almost at the end of February, 2 months in. We also have a new moon at 1 degree in Pisces happening on the 20th. And this, of course, is the penultimate, or no, it's the ultimate week. Full week of February. Still have a couple of days next week. So wow, lots happening. I'm Jen Duchenne of jendushen.com, Akashic Swan Guidance. I created the Illuminating Journey Cards that we're going to use for this reading with the guidance of the Akashic Records. I think it's important to understand that as we move through this time that we get to kind of dictate how we want to kind of play this game, how we want to engage with what's out there. We don't actually get to dictate what's happening, right? We only get our opportunity to choose. That's what free will is. That's what freedom is. We don't dictate the events or how other people respond. We can only bring ourselves to the table and focus and put our attention to the things that are meaningful to us and show up in a new way. So with all of this time and all of this change we're all going through, being stripped of our illusions and perhaps having new illusions put in place, we have to remember that the object of this experience is to expand into our greater soul. Let's see what the cards have to say. The first card, the Soul Portal 11, speaks so much to what I've just been talking about, this idea of being in your space and pushing the boundaries out. It's like you're stretching your arms out and you're going, I'm here and I need more space to connect to source, to connect to the earth, to connect to my nervous system, to my awareness, to be connected to the rainbow, the energy of color, of illumination, of realizing my past is not my present. And therefore, if I'm going to use my past to help me articulate better, then I must make sure that I rinse it through the rainbow energy so it doesn't have a taint of something that makes me feel like I am being stopped from expressing who I am. So it's a very powerful time, an empowering time, but it's powerful and empowering when we choose to recognize that this is where I'm being empowered. My ability to connect to the above, to be filled with the energy, the lightning of something new, and how I'm grounding that. That means how I'm taking what's coming to me, my insights, and what am I doing with it to make it real. The 11 is this portal, this opening, double new beginnings. So it's standing on your own 2 feet and it's expanding yourself, your awareness into a new space. It's making room for the parts of yourself that haven't had expression or time or space, that have been put to the side. The parts of you that maybe felt weird, rejected, etc., that want to come forward and be part of the whole picture. It's a very powerful energy that is flowing through us, flowing through the multiverses. As I look through, it feels like there are hundreds of this huge tunnel of expanse that we can connect to and allow in and root into the earth in a new way. It's like we're enabling ourselves to connect to what is true in the earth for us. We're not just using these things, but we're becoming part of them so that we can speak for the earth and speak for the cosmos through our own voice in our own way. We cannot speak for others as them, but we can speak for ourselves as our knowledge and expression of what's around us and our desires. How can we really come to the table in this moment, right? The 11, which makes the 2, is about not only standing on our own 2 feet, but also being aware of choices. What choices are we making? How are we coming to the relationship? Interesting enough, the bottom of the card deck has a 2, and I finished shuffling, so there's a 2. So this is really, I think, an important part is it's our relationship to our lives, and no matter that it's changing, that everything is different, the beauty of that is we can express ourselves differently. We can focus and come up and show up in different ways. We don't need to stay with what was. And this is where the freedom is. This is where the free will is. The Soul Portal 11, followed by Soul Portal 26, which is an 8, a power number 8 that speaks to strength. It speaks to this idea that from here, right, from recognizing our ability to be powerful in the world as we are, because we can make things happen or dispel them and change them by what we're giving attention to, what we consider important. And that relates here to our golden palace, the place of our soul, that place where we live on earth in, what we might think in our head, in our heart, etc., is what are we seeing? What are we allowing ourselves to see? Where are we putting our focus, our knowledge about ourselves, that, we can only live from what we see, right? That's our perspective, and that's the thing that drives us. And the golden palace reveals that all is here or nothing is here, right? It's up to us. What do you see? What are you available to? You can be in a room and somebody else can be in that room and they can find their way through, and you can feel like, I don't see anything, I can't go anywhere, I don't have the key. So being curious, being open, softening yourself to what is flowing through that's different, as opposed to shutting it off and going, well, that's dangerous, or that's no good, or I don't like that. It's good to know your boundaries, right? 2 speaks to boundaries, but it's also important to not live your life the way you have, that might have isolated you or stopped you from growth, from true soul growth, right? To the expanse of becoming more of yourself, really stepping into that golden palace, feeling the showering of the rose petals, the love, the possibility, the incredible possibility of being in that expansive, vulnerable, open place where the things that may have been held true, or the behaviors based on feeling rejected, not enough, forced you to live a certain way, and now you're being shown, well, you don't need to live that way. You have options and opportunities just by expanding how you look at things and realizing that you can do it differently, right? That in the strength of being connected, you have the choice to live life differently because your focus has changed. You see things differently, you approach things differently, and then everything changes. It's not like you can dictate how things happen, but you can certainly choose how you're going to engage with it, right? So no matter what it is, whether it's your work, your family, your relationships, whatever, it's like, yeah, this is difficult. And I didn't expect this to be difficult. I wanted it to be easy. I find with myself, like, there are things like, oh, I don't want to do this. I put on my list and then I just avoid it. Like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, well, I'll do it next week. And at some point I have to do it. And so whatever it is that's making me feel like I'm not ready, at some point I will be ready, because I'm going to wake up and go, oh, that thing I've been avoiding, I need to do it now, because it's my avoidance is what's in the way of me mastering whatever this is, or getting to that next place, or realizing, yeah, this is difficult, and I have to remind myself that it's not impossible, because I want to go towards that space and that place that I haven't, right? And that's what these cards are talking about. Pisces new moon is at a 1. It's the final moon of the cycle, because Pisces is the final sign. So we move into the Aries, the go, but we got to be ready to go, right? We have to have our focus and the way we treat ourselves ready, so we can move forward from a place of, oh, I've got this restriction, that restriction, instead of, I am teaching myself how to be more connected, how to express myself, how to say no and yes, and really get that ball rolling towards what I believe in. And the third and final card, so interesting, it's the 33. I just love how we have two master soul portals here, soul portal numbers, the 11 and 33. We start with 11, and it's like we move through this tunnel to come to this place, from a place of accepting, I'm powerful, I receive the power, what am I going to do with it, to this place, right? I am empowered and joyful, knowing I have all these choices, all the balls in the air, right? All the colors. I'm in the center like this, and I am joyful. I come to this as like, oh my God, this is amazing. I want to experience this, or I'm going to choose what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it, because that's powerful, right? That's free will. And it's this, right? The piece in the middle that allows us to realize, when we accept our power and we see the place we live as a soul, as a human, as this golden palace with lots of doorways and passageways and rooms to experience things, then we get to experience this, right? If being in that joyful place, the 33 speaks to the spine, being upright, connected to our nervous system. So we're moving in this new energy from a place of awareness of ourselves, awareness of what's around us. So we're choosing, even if something is difficult, because we want to have that experience. And that's very powerful. The 33 also speaks to being a teacher, or learning from life, having taught you these things, these amazing things. This is how I really engage with life. And I connect to love, to the heart, to those that are in my sphere, that I become part of the organism that is life, that is the world, by being more of who I am, more connected, as opposed to separating myself from myself to maybe be accepted. So in that wild weirdness that is you, that has been maybe neglected or put to the side, that's the way you find the secret chambers of the Golden Temple, and you find the incredible joy of expressing who you are. It's a very powerful time we're moving through. There's a lot of change, so we need to change to recognize nobody's going to say, oh, you were powerless then, now you're powerful, so this is what you need to do. It's just something you need to activate within you. And that's part of this time as we move from completion of the old into the expansion of the new. It's a very watery, very liquid experience. So we're going to be confronted by all kinds of things. And the more you know yourself, the less likely you are to be fooled by someone else's promise, or, something that looks like, oh, this is perfect, I don't have to make an effort, it's all there. The point is, we do need to, moving into new organisms, new growth, we have to learn how to do that. So all of us are in this, but we're each having our own experience. Wishing you so much love through this time. I'm Jen Duchenne of jenduchenne.com, Akashic Swan Guidance, and I will see you very soon.